Hello, this is a GMP Detox session about remote assessments, and the year starts quite very interesting. PICS have published a new guidance document on the 1st of January, and I'm sharing it here with you, PI 05656, guidance on remote assessments. So usually I love the PICS documents. They are of very high quality. So I was a little bit surprised by this document, Guidance on Remote Assessments. You already can hear that I do not really like it. And I give you some reasons on that. In principle, remote assessments or distance assessments might be a good option for agencies. So here we will find some weaknesses from different point of views, and later we'll have a view on the EMA document and the US-FDA. But what the PICS have done here, I don't understand it, and it's of a totally different quality as I'm usually see it from the PICS. So let's start. PICS 2025, great, the first thing to do this year. It also mentions here the appendix. That's very interesting. The other documents don't look like this. And I guess it's the final document. You cannot really see that. The table of contents is okay, does not contain everything. I think the author had some problems with MS Word. So anyhow, you will find here definitions. There are 3 types of remote assessments. Later you will see that they mention 4. So that's very interesting. The first one is a fully interactive remote assessment. Here, you know, it's like you would be on site, and even after the pandemic situation, it could also happen that you cannot visit the site because of other issues like war and or unstable political situations or anything like this. So for a fully interactive remote assessment, type number 1, what they call the remote assessments type, yes, not categories, the type. So that will also include live video streaming. I was a little bit wondering if live video is not possible. Video files of all manufacturing or other areas concerned by the scope of the inspection shared and discussed with the regulators. Yes, but these videos could be not showing the truth. Okay, then type number 2, partially interactive remote assessment, underlining here with some interactive components, whatever that does mean. Okay. Then number 3, the desktop assessment. And then I think the authors had some problems to make a difference between assessments and inspections, because then they also bring in the hybrid inspections, an evaluation or assessment. And now they also, again, bring in a new term, an evaluation. An assessment is an evaluation, or is it not, of a site performed by competent authorities. Not sure if it's one authority or more than one, using a combination of on-site inspections and remote assessments. Yes, it could make sense to do remote assessments to get a better overview of the site and maybe to shorten the time for the on-site inspection if you identify some critical areas. So, okay, but I was irritated just by chapter 4.1, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and they say we have 3 types, and then they put that together again. A little bit irritating, at least for me. So then they write something about the logistics, the feasibility approach. Here, that's also very interesting. This table I don't know. That looks a little bit like this kind of a tick box mentality, but they say a case by case assessment is required. Yes. So I'm not sure on that. Okay, but even here the author had problems with repeating tables, the header, because here it's not repeating again. Okay, students can do that. So anyhow, I found that also very interesting, to measure the site communication style. Open, closed, obstructive. So if someone is obstructive, I would do an on-site inspection anyhow. Internet connectivity of inspectors. Uh-huh. Anyhow. So then, and this is something that I have not seen for many years, they put in a glossary, the acronym BMR. Funny or not, it's nowhere used. And then BMR, batch manufacturing record. Hey guys, even in the PICS GMP and in the European GMP, according chapter 4 documentation, chapter 4.20, it's called batch processing record. PICS is writing a document and is using the wrong glossary. Okay, so it continues. Revision history, none. So this is the reason why I was not able to tell you, is it version 1 or is it a draft or what is it? I have no clue. Very strange. Then they have this appendix. This appendix is not in the table of contents mentioned, but on the first side, on the front page, then summary chart to show differences between types of remote assessments. Okay, there we have the 3 types: fully interactive assessment, partially interactive assessment, desktop assessment. But even here, I don't want to go into details, but you know, the chapter 4.2 is called partially interactive remote assessments and not partially interactive assessments. Why have you changed that? It's in the same document. It's a 12 pages document. For me, it shows a very low quality of document. Things like this, I'm sorry to say that. I'm may apply. Okay. May apply depending on the agency. Then you know what that means. The same agency that has written this document, right? Okay. Again, table heating is not repeated on the next page. Very strange. Okay. So I don't like it. Definitely. It's not well written. Students can write that better. And I think they are lost somewhere between type of assessments and the inspections. And is it called a hybrid inspection? Even worse, with PI 5665, they also have 57. And usually, by the way, I love 8 memoirs. 8 memoirs are absolutely great. Written by inspectors, for inspectors. You can use that for benchmarking internally, in internal audits, self-inspections, if you implement new processes. And usually I love the 8 memories, but the 8 memory is exactly on the same quality level like the guidance. Very strange. I'm really wondering who have reviewed that internally at PICS. I think nobody. Here there seems to be a problem with the PDF creator. Different font. Okay. So very interesting and very short. And I was wondering why the PICS writing something like this, for example, with MS Teams, WebEx, Zoom, Google Meet, doesn't matter. It's called telephone conference, not teleconference. Very strange. Table heaters, again, not repeated. Prompt. Preparation. Not so well written. And then you must tell an inspector, I would not tell a German inspector, consider the action following an acceptable compliance outcome. Don't issue a GMP certificate. I don't know any European GMP inspector who will issue a GMP certificate on an unacceptable compliance outcome, especially in a remote assessment. Very strange. So first I was surprised and basically a little bit happy to get a new document to read. Guidance on remote assessment, but hey, PICS, that is not well done. And even I don't know, there was no need to do that. Maybe they got some pressure from some companies to say, let's replace GMP inspections by remote assessments. We will find someone in the PICS to write something like this, but it's not well written. Okay, so here, batch processing record, wrongly written in the guidance, in the same PICS guidance, batch processing record, not, sometimes I get too emotional, and not batch manufacturing record. That's CGMP. Okay. Again, a grade 8 memoir, for example, is assessment of quality risk management, for example, PIO 38. Very well written, that you get a picture how to implement the quality risk management. And here you see that they also referred to the GMP guide. This is how it should look like. Maybe I should have taken this as a master template. I don't know. And here, let me check. It's well written. And here in the revision history, you can write in the revision history. Hello? Empty. Written by AI, or where does it come from? Another grade 8 memoir, a little bit older, from 2007, inspection of pharmaceutical quality control laboratories. Also, you can use it for audits. Sometimes I use it for audits because it's very well written. And I put it also into the audit plan, in the audit protocol, for example. Why not? Yeah. Then even here with referring to the GMP sections. If it's in Europe, it doesn't matter. It's just exactly the same chapter numbering scheme. Some annexes have moved since 2007. Annex 16 is still alive, but not Annex 20, Annex 13, and so on. So the 8 memoirs of the PICS, which are usually absolutely great, except in 2025. There's one. I give it a dislike. Are absolutely great, and you will find them here. I have said maybe there's not really the need to write something like this, and I'm wondering about that because the EMA has also written last year in June 2024 a document, guidance related to GMP, GDP, and PDMF distant assessments. Don't be irritated, they call it just distant assessments and not remote assessments. I think it's even maybe the better wording for that, but I'm not a native speaker. Carefully written in a more scientific, better style, like you see it here. But also what is very important, we must go to line 230. This guidance is not intended for use or to replace on-site inspections which are conducted in line with the existing guidance. This is pretty much similar, different from the PICS. In the PICS, you will also find if the remote assessment was successful, you should publish a GMP certificate. And I'm really wondering about that because you will never have the same level of inspection if you look into this one. So I would here refer to the EMA document. I don't know why the PICS, if they had the need to write something like that, why they have not copied it from the EMA. That's the magic question. I try to find it out. If I find it out, I will tell you what happened. By the way, the EMA is also offering a wonderful site. I found it newly here. Compliance overview, GLP, GCP, GMP, GVP, GDP. Quite very cool. I was impressed. I didn't know that page. The US-FDA does also have a guidance for industry. Again, non-binding recommendation, like, by the way, the guidance documents from the EMA. They call it, to make it a little bit more complex, remote regulatory assessments. You will later see the abbreviation RRA, remote regulatory assessments. In Europe, distant assessments, and the PICS, don't know, reinvent the remote assessments. I don't understand it. But also the US FDA is that clever like the EMA, is a remote regulatory assessment, RRA, an inspection. And RRA is not an inspection under section 704, blah, blah, blah. Generally, an inspection such as described in section 704 in the Act involves duly designated officers or employees, so investigators, of the FDA physically entering at reasonable times and in a reasonable manner, not at 4 in the night, establishments subject to regulation under the FDA and C Act to determine compliance with applicable requirements. This is how it is. We talk about patient safety, not that we print GMP certificates based on remote assessments like on this PICS guidance document. Oh, I think that was nearly a reaction session today. So PICS, what happened? PI 056, not really nice. I would have loved to read something at the starting of the year which has much more quality like this. It's non-binding, but maybe PICS should think about that, what to publish and why they go away from the EMA, and or at least to copy and paste from the FDA guidance for industry. This is not well written. I'm sorry. Okay, I hope you like that. So remote assessments, don't get irritated with all the different terms. Distant assessments and regulatory remote assessments. So yes, they have their place in this world, but this document, not good. Okay, have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it and you were able to understand my frustration with something like this. Not well made. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.